Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, so the ladies are in Nashville celebrating Portia's birthday, and everything's going good. Portia's friends have all flown in for one night to join in on the festivities, and it's a vibe. I loved everybody's outfits. Yeah, they did that. Most of them did that. But anyways, the dinner, when I don't know who it was that asked where was Drew. I don't think they was trying to be messy. Like, I think that was a legit question. Like, where's Drew? Like, we know she's on the show. She's in the cast. Y'all are filming for the show. We all had to sign release and waivers or whatever you want to call them. Where the hell is Drew at? I think it was a valid question. Y'all not gonna like what I have to say about this scene. So this is the thing, right? I feel like Angela wanted a moment. And I mean, I guess on these shows, everybody needs their moment. So I'm not mad at it, but it's just like, girl, it wasn't that deep. Her swooping in trying to defend Drew's honor was so unnecessary to me because I don't think Drew cares that much. I just don't. I don't think she cares that much. And if it was someone else in Drew's shoes, Drew would be sitting right there joining in on the mess. She would. I don't really feel like the women were bashing Drew. When Portia said that they were all friends, I think Angela felt dumb. Which leads me to my next thing is like, you and Drew are really friends? I don't believe you. I don't believe that Drew and Angela have this deep friendship. I feel like you guys might have met right before filming, and because you have Chicago in common, you're like, oh yeah, that's my friend. Drew's my friend. Drew's my girl. I'm not gonna let anybody mess with Drew. I don't believe you. I don't believe Drew is your friend. I don't see Drew doing the same for you. Like, I don't see it. I don't see the friendship. I don't. It seems one-sided. You keep wanting to jump up. Yeah, because Drew's my friend. Because I have Drew's back. My loyalty is to Drew. She said that so many times, and I'm just, girl, you better hope Drew is loyal to you. Because I just don't believe the friendship. I'm liking Angela, but there's a couple of things that just, I'm like, girl, okay now. Now, when Cynthia had her little one-on-one with Angela the next day, and she was like, I don't think anyone here has an issue with Drew apart from Portia. Portia's the only one that has a problem with Drew. I know she had to feel a little silly. Because she was like, yeah, I'm not going to let you guys all talk about my friend like that. Nobody had an issue with Drew except for Portia. Now, somebody did make a little comment that she was over there, singing in the microphone. Somebody did say that, but that was after the fact. That was after Angela caused, a disturbance a little bit. You know what I want to say? She keeps defending Drew, but it's like every time you defend Drew, I don't see you helping Drew. Because, like, if you would have just let them say, oh, yeah, she ain't coming, her and Portia going through a little rocky time, or she'll come a little bit later, whatever the case may be, it would have been it. But your trying to defend Drew led to the shady comments after the fact. I wouldn't want you defending me, girl. Just say it. Now, the scene with Shamia, it really tugged at my heart. Can I just say that I'm enjoying Shamia a lot this season? I have never really cared for her on this show. Away from this show, I think she's delightful. I love her. But on this show, she's just, something about her just gets on my nerves. But on this here season, I'm really liking Shamia. I mean, she still have her moments where she gets a little carried away. But, we all do. We all do. But seeing her cry, y'all know I don't like that. Okay, my feelings was hurt. I didn't like that. I have lost a couple of people to DV. So it's not something that I take lightly at all. I've said this before. I don't like when a woman puts her hand on a man. I don't like when a man puts his hand on a woman. I don't like when a woman puts her hand on another woman. A man puts his hand on another man. When you're in a relationship, you should not be putting your hands on each other. You should not be assaulting one another. You should not be abusive verbally, emotionally. physically, you don't do that. Like, that's just not okay. And yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it. And seeing her cry, even though she been with her husband for a long time. She been with her husband for a minute. And to see that still hurts her and it still affects her that way, that hurt me a little bit. Like, I felt bad for her. It's sad. It's hurtful. Yeah, I didn't know we was going there. Like, I didn't know we was going there. I didn't know it. But, you know, sending good vibes and love to anyone who has ever been in such a situation or loved someone who went through this type of situation. It's a lot. So yeah, good vibes to Shamia. I'm so glad that she's in this happy space with her man and her kids and her big old house. And she's in love this time around and the man loves her back. And it's like, that explains why she's willing to put her life at risk again to have another baby. Because this man actually loves her and she probably feels like she wants to overcompensate. But girl, if it ain't healthy, you might want to explore some other way because you're blessed to have the two that you have. Don't put yourself in no situation where you can't be there for them. Like, I don't be trying to tell people that, you know, what to do because everybody's grown. But it's scary having babies. Like, it's so scary. Especially for Black women. It's scary. So, Shamia, girl, I wish you the best. Stop making me cry. I don't like that. I don't. Okay, so back to the foolishness. Where are we? At the tequila tasting? Yes, that's where we at. That's Portia, Kelly, and Shamia. Was somebody else there? I don't remember. Yeah, it is the three of them. Okay. So, Portia's assessment of Angela. I don't think Portia was wrong. I had to agree with about 95% of what Portia had to say as it pertained to Angela. Angela wanted a moment. Angela has been indirectly coming for Portia since episode 2. Angela wanted a moment, okay? I'm not about to play this game. We all been watching Housewives for way too long for us to act like we don't know what's going on. Was it annoying for Angela to invite Drew? Yes. But more than likely, Angela didn't decide to invite Drew on her own. Production made sure to give her that nudge. Go ahead and invite Drew. Because when in the history of when has someone wanted to exclude a main cast member from a cast trip and it actually went down? I can only think of 2 times. Maybe there are more. I can only think of 2 times. One wasn't even Housewives. One was Married to Medicine. Remember season 2 when they were going to Blue Ridge? Was it Blue Ridge? And they didn't want Mariah to go because Quad didn't want Mariah there. So Mariah wasn't allowed to go. Mariah had to go on her own trip with her other friends. Remember that? I remember that. They all told Mariah not to go, and then when Mariah did not show up, Simone was barking at Mariah like, girl, why you didn't show up? If you really wanted to be a part of this group, you should have shown up. Sound familiar? But we ain't talking about Married to Medicine. And the only other time that I can recall, it was the New York women. The Real Housewives of New York. Ramona. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think Carol was doing something in England and she invited it. I think it was Carol. She invited everyone but Ramona because she wasn't feeling Ramona and Ramona was upset. Ramona was mad. Ramona was not here for that. She was losing her shit. She could not stand it. Like, well, why can't I go? Well, why am I not invited? Like, she threw a whole tantrum because they wouldn't invite her on the trip. I believe it was Carol, right? Carol had some business to go handle. and she only took who she wanted to take. Sonia was like, well, Ramona, you can't go, but I'm gonna go. Apart from those two that I mentioned, I can't think of any other time where a main cast member was excluded from a trip. Now, do they take it upon themselves not to go to trips? We've seen that. Because even season 9, when Candy was hot as fish grease, she was livid. She was pissed with Portia. She even extended an invite to Portia to come to Hawaii. She told Phaedra, well, you can go ahead and invite your friend because I'm not inviting her. But let's be real. The show is paying for these trips. These trips are happening on the show's time. This is during filming. Everybody's invited. So I'm not even about to play this game of why did you invite her on my trip? Portia, I don't care about none of that. Okay? You knew somebody was going to have to invite Drew on the trip. And of course, it was going to be her bestie from her hometown. Like, it wasn't going to be Shamia. It wasn't going to be Britt. It definitely wasn't going to be Britt. It was either going to be Angela or Cynthia. Somebody was going to bring her on the trip. So I'm not even about to go back and forth with the whole, yeah, I'm just not. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Not on today. I don't have time. Now, is it possible that Portia thought she might get away with excluding Drew? Maybe. Maybe there was a small chance that she thought, yeah, I threw my, seniority around and she ain't coming on this trip. Because it's my birthday. Maybe she did that. I don't know. But I feel like everybody knew Drew was going to be on that trip. Production was going to make sure of it. Especially it's only a 35-minute flight. Baby, she was coming on that trip. And you knew it. You knew you ain't had no choice. And that's why I feel like Portia was kind of just being like, you invited her on my trip? Okay, well, whatever. Like, because you already know how this goes. Candy didn't want to invite you to Miami. Was it Miami? It wasn't even Miami. What was the place? She didn't want to invite you to Hawaii, but you was there and you brought a +1. Girl, we're not gonna do this. But for the sake of, I guess, for the show, let's just pretend, yes, Angela invited Drew to Portia's trip where Portia didn't want her to be there. I don't know why Angela would think that it would be okay to do that. So her saying, I had good intentions. I just wanted to bring you guys together because you guys had a friendship. You weren't around to witness the friendship that they had. So why do you even care to have any intentions? And y'all don't seem to like Portia. So why are you invested in Portia and Drew having a come together, a reconciliation of some, like, am I taking the fun out of the show? Maybe I should just shut up about this. I don't know. I just can't. Like, in real life, that would be weird as hell. You don't bring someone to someone else's trip and say, well, I had good intentions. No. Because there's a couple of people that I do not mess with right now. And if I was forced to be in the same space with them, it's going down. It's too close to Gemini season to be playing with me like that. I'm cussing somebody out. And I dare someone to ask me, well, what's the problem? Because then I'm going to cuss you out too. Like, in real life, if you invite someone on a trip for my birthday, it's my birthday, and you invite somebody on my birthday trip, and you know I have smoke for this person, you know I might get along with this person, you and I barely even know each other, so you don't even know me to gauge if you could play with me like that. You haven't really been around to witness our friendship. So if you played in my face like that, I would have cussed her out. So when she said to that lady, what kind of glue is on your, y'all heard it. What kind of glue you got on your M&F and wig? Yeah, that's a legit reaction. But like I said, I really don't care. Portia, you knew that girl was coming on the trip some kind of way. Production was going to see to it that she came on that trip. And that is why you didn't even drag it at first. But Angela kept poking at it. Oh, Drew should be here soon. Well, Drew should be here soon. Well, I invited Drew because Portia didn't tell me no. And she should have told me no if she didn't want Drew to come on the trip. Stop it. Stop it. It's literally like, are you producer pet? What's going on here? Because girl, you didn't come up with that on your own. You ain't that damn bold. I don't care what you say. You ain't that damn bold. Like, you'd have to really be an idiot to force someone onto a trip. And Drew would have to be a dummy to come on the trip solely because you asked her to come when she knows she's not wanted. She had to be there. She was obligated to be there per her contract. She knew she had to carry herself on over to Nashville. Because otherwise, why? Anyways. Yeah, and I also wanted to say, the part where Portia said that Angela was setting up Drew. I don't necessarily think she was setting up Drew. She was kind of setting up Portia. Like, she was trying to provoke a reaction out of Portia. Because this is the thing. If she's like, how can you bring a +1 to my birthday festivities? And you're like, oh, I thought you wouldn't mind, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then she drops it and she's like, cool, that's whatever. I have a room for her. But then you keep saying, well, you know, Drew's coming. Well, you know, Drew's coming. Well, I talked to Drew. She should be here any minute. Like, you kept trying to get a rise out of Portia. And when she wasn't giving you the reaction that you wanted, you kept poking. So when Drew finally arrives, what type of environment are you walking Drew into? I won't say it was necessarily a setup, but you wanted to see something pop off. You did. So Portia wasn't entirely wrong. And Drew eventually leaving and feeling uncomfortable, you played a part in that, Angela. Because it's like you seem to have more of an issue with the whole Drew and Portia thing than Drew. I won't say more than Portia, but definitely more than Drew. You care more than Drew cares. And that's weird to me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It just, I don't want to say what I think it is. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold that opinion to myself. But it does feel like you're trying to jab Portia, but you're not coming at her directly. You're trying to use Shamia, you're trying to use Drew, and then we see in the upcoming trailer you using Shamia again. You're messy. You're very messy. You are. And then when people give you the energy, you're like, oh my God, like, why are you doing all of this? You're messy, girl. We like messy on this show, but when you start some mess, you need to stand in it. That's all I'm saying. So over to the whiskey tasting. The little one-on-one, well, what was it? The one-on-one-on-one, the four of them. What was it? It was Cynthia, Britt, Drew, and Angela. Now, when Britt said that Angela was playing the victim, at first I was like, But then I thought about it, she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong, because every time Angela kept saying, I keep catching all the heat for everything. Yeah, because you're starting it. You're starting the heat. What are you talking about? You're starting stuff. So if you're catching the heat... Oh my gosh. Like I said earlier, I feel like production said, Drew coming on this trip. So, Angela, we want you to be the one to extend the invitation. Portia, you had to know Drew was coming on this trip. But for the sake of the show, let's play along. I'll play along. Okay. If Angela had good intentions and wanted Drew on this trip, why not be transparent and say, hey, Portia, Drew's not on this call. I'm inviting her to the trip. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. Why? Because you was up to some mess. Or maybe production didn't tell you to do it yet. So yeah, you're playing the victim. Maybe you really feel like the victim because it wasn't your idea. It was production's idea. But at the same time, you like the credit for it because it makes you look like a bad bitch. Yeah, I invited her and I'll do it again. 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 I'll do it some more. That's what you was trying to give. The viewers are loving you, so I guess you did something, girl. Now, what I didn't understand, I didn't understand how we're talking about Angela, Drew, and Portia, and Britt is like speaking from Portia's perspective or trying to give Portia's perspective of the whole situation. I don't understand how we got from there to Britt feeling away and not feeling supported after the whole situation and they were at the peace brunch. The segue was very awkward for me. Like, I'm like, how did we get to talking about Brit? Now, Brit, where do I start? I thought that was awkward that she threw herself in the mix. Now, I do know that them producers be talking to them in them little devices in their ear. So maybe they told her to bring that up. I don't know. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of whatever, girl. I find it very cringe when you have to convince people to care about you. It's like, I felt her. I felt her for the simple fact of what she went through. I thought wasn't cool. Y'all already know I'm not in support of what Kenya did. I'm just not. I just found it I just find it cringe. Like, if you don't care about me, if you show me you don't care, or you make me feel like you don't care, I'm not gonna beg you to care. I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm not begging nobody to care about me. You don't have to be my friend. You could go. Like, I don't know. She was like, I showed up there and you guys weren't supportive. And it was just like, girl, sorry to you. Now, I will say this. I appreciated Cynthia, like, stepping in and being like, hey, y'all can't tell this girl how to feel because what happened to her did not happen to y'all. Until something like that happens to you, you can't speak on it. I appreciated that, but I'm going to say the same thing to Cynthia. Cynthia, she can't make them care if they don't care. She can't make... Because this was the thing. The way that Britt came to that brunch and was like, this is about me. Like, that would have turned me all the way off. And I've been defending you, sis. I've been defending you a little bit. More than the rest of the people. I'll say that. But, like, first of all, you ain't never going to talk to me crazy. I don't care what you went through, bitch. I don't care if you died and came back. And died again and came back, like Jocelyn would say. Die, be born again, die, be born again, die, be born again. I don't care what happened to you. You're not going to talk to me rude. If you want my support, don't talk to me rude. If you want my support, don't come in with an attitude. If you want my support, watch how you handle me. Like, I know that the network and production is probably kissing your behind because they do not want any more lawsuits. But watch how you handle me. And the way she spoke to Angela, I wasn't in favor of that. I didn't like how she talked to Angela. Because I can't sympathize with you when you talking to me stupid. I cannot sympathize with you when you're coming out of your mouth crazy and like talking to me any kind of, no. Did you like being challenged about the whole, what was it, her real estate, was it her real estate license? Whatever, her insurance license, my bad. No, you didn't like being challenged. You didn't like her asking questions in the middle of you expressing yourself. That's fair. But you still was talking to her rude and you're making it really hard to defend you because, like, girl, what are you doing? You're doing too much. But I do want to go on the record of saying I still don't agree with what Kenya did. And I think the thing that's gnawing at me and my conscience is like, if we excuse this, somebody in the future is going to take it even further. Because I feel like everyone's justification for this was, well, she threatened Kenya. And this was something that was already out there. She signed a release. If we justify what Kenya did this time, the next time it's going to be worse. Not necessarily by Kenya, but by someone else. They're going to be like, well, she did that. They're going to point to this situation and say, well, so-and-so did it. So for me, I feel like if you're against something, you're against it. I know that some things have different, people have different stipulations for different situations and, it is what it is. But I still feel like it was wrong. I feel like it was wrong. I do. When Portia snatched up Kenya, I always was on Portia's side because one of the things that will get me to snap on somebody doing this close to my face or waving something at my face, or like, to me, that is so degrading. That is so degrading. And if I get overstimulated and I feel anxious and you're doing this to me. We already cussing each other out. We're trading insults. And then you take it a step further to do like this in my face. And then you take a bullhorn and you start calling me, baby. Portia stood up. I can give Portia some respect and some credit because Portia stood up. And then she allowed Kenya to stand up. If I were Kenya in that moment, I would have shoved Portia so hard she wouldn't have gotten a chance to grab my hair. If I was Portia in that moment, I wouldn't have stood up to fight her. That bullhorn that she was speaking out of, I would have shoved it in her face. That's what I would have done. Honestly, if I was Portia, I was in that exact scenario, Kenya would have been trying to whip my ass because I would have shoved the bullhorn. When she's talking like this, that thing would have went in her face. She would have got up off the couch trying to whip my ass. I'm just saying. So for me, I mean, I don't know. And this is so immature. So immature of me. But I'm being honest. Like, we justified Portia snatching up Kenya and dragging her across the floor because she was throwing things in her face and she was degrading her and she took it too far with Portia. We justified that. And then we get Potomac season 5, where Monique is on one side of the table, Candace is on another side of the table. At least with Portia and Kenya, they were like in close proximity. With Monique and Candace, Monique was on one side of the table, Candace is on the other side of the table. They're both insulting each other. Monique is calling her chia pet and leopard, and she said another insult and stuttered over the insult, felt embarrassed. Candace is like, good night, good night. What you gonna do, girl? You gonna drag me? You want me to? And she reached across the table to start assaulting Candace. And people wanted to justify that. And what did they say? Well, y'all didn't fire Portia. Why y'all firing Monique? And so, even though I feel like what happened in Atlanta season 6 is not what happened on Potomac season 5, I feel like they're two completely different situations. But what they have in common is both times someone put their hands on each other. And when you're in the workplace, that really shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be putting our hands on people. I wanted to put my hands on somebody just a couple of days ago. But I know better. I know better. So I kept my hands to myself. Which is what you're supposed to do, is keep your hands to yourself. So I say all that to say, we justified what Portia did season 6. Not everybody. I did though. I ain't gonna lie. I did. Because I'm really for real about don't wave nothing in my face or near my face. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. So I could not help but to be on Portia's side. Especially with Kenya, you were in Anguilla season 5, pretending like you liked to fight. You acted like you was that girl that liked to throw hands. And then Portia pulled your card and we found out otherwise. My fear is that in the future, something like this will happen again and we will be able to refer back. Because what is everyone talking about? Everyone's saying how Joe Gorga in Real Housewives of New Jersey showed Danielle's sex tape. Now, I was on the right side of history back then. I thought what Joe Gorga did to Danielle was disgusting. It wasn't just Joe Gorga. It was all of them that sat around there passing the phone around. Joe Gorga, Big Frank, big-headed ass. The other Joe, the wimp, Jennifer's husband, Evan, who was a crybaby. You was boohoo crying because Teresa said that you was cheating down to the gym. You were sitting up there watching this 60-year-old woman in a sex video. And you were laughing. And you went home and you talked shit about her. But we were supposed to feel bad for you because Teresa said you was cheating down to the gym. I'm just saying. Everybody pissed me off on that episode. Jennifer was my girl, but I was pissed at Jennifer. I was so pissed at how they did Danielle. And Danielle did not deserve that. They harassed that woman the whole season. Danielle should be suing Bravo. Sorry, Bravo. But if anyone should be suing Leah McSweeney, you should have called Danielle. Danielle is who has a case, in my opinion. But I will say this though, in the situation that happened in Jersey with Joe Gorga passing around the sex video, that was a closed set. It was what, 5 people in production. What Kenya did, Kenya had a public event where she invited the press and she invited the who's who of Atlanta and she invited some yes men and some fans. That was completely different. And Joe Gorga's not a housewife, even though he behaves like one. He's not a housewife. And they fired Danielle. Can you imagine? They did Danielle wrong. We're gonna talk about this for a second. They literally passed around this woman's sex tape, had all their husbands gawking and making fun of her and saying how she looked disgusting and why her vagina looked like that. Then the women come to a shopping situation with her. They all talking about her. Jackie, who's so sensitive, was like, oh my God, I owe her a thank you because after Evan saw her vagina, he didn't want to have sex for a week. They did Danielle dirty that season. I'm sorry if y'all don't watch that show, but yeah, that's what happened. They did Danielle so nasty. So this final scene. Child, I'm about to get in some trouble, but I don't care. Let me say this. Before we get too deep into it, can I just give this disclaimer? I ain't never been with nobody's husband. I ain't looking at nobody's husband. Only person husband that I'll be looking at is Tamika Smith. Okay? I'll be looking at Method Man. Method Man is fine. Okay? I've been in love with Method Man since I was a child. Okay? I used to watch his boring show, him and Redman, they little show they had. I think Anna Marie Horsford, she was on there. She was one of their mamas. I don't remember. I didn't even really understand what the show was happening. Like, I didn't understand what was happening on the show at all. Like, the show was on. I just was watching because Method Man was on there. So, I ain't never been with nobody's husband, so don't nobody come for me. Like, oh yeah, you must be just like Portia. I'm not. I just wanted to make that clear before we get into some things, okay? Okay, so now that we got that out the way, we can talk about this dinner. So, okay, everybody saw, y'all watched it, y'all know what happened. Portia had her little cute outfit on and she changes into all black and her whole demeanor has changed. She is soured, like she is upset and annoyed and nobody knows why. And everybody's asking questions and she's just like, she pissed. I already told y'all, I hate to make it seem like I am going up for Portia, because I'm really not. Like, I'm really not. Portia is so selfish. She has really made herself look terrible, but if she has a point, I'm gonna validate it. If she has something that makes sense, if she says something that makes sense, I'm gonna validate it. And I feel like she's not 100% wrong, and she's not really wrong in what she's saying right now. Her being upset that Drew is working with Dennis, it's valid. It's valid because the way, I don't think that Dennis wants Drew. I'm not saying that Dennis wouldn't sleep with her, but I don't think that that's the objective here. I think that Dennis really knows the value of this here platform and he will capitalize every chance he gets. But do y'all remember, I want to say it was season 12, when Portia and Dennis had broken up because he cheated on her when she was pregnant. Remember when that happened? Okay. Portia and Marlo were linking up to go out to eat. Portia didn't know where they were going to. I think they got on that little thing, the little bike thing where they like pedal and it takes them wherever. And they ended up going to Dennis's restaurant. That was very manipulative. Like, Dennis is always going to find a way to weasel himself onto this show. Every single chance. Every time. Season 14, when Portia wasn't even on here, they referenced and showed Dennis. Dennis knows the value of this platform and he's always going to find his way on here. And I think that is what Portia is annoyed by. Like, you don't get to cheat on me while I was pregnant and do all of this. I extended this platform to you because you was my man. You are no longer my man. We are co-parenting our daughter. You can't keep finding a way to come where I work and make, benefit off of where I work at. You can't keep using my platform to benefit your businesses when you do me dirty. That's how she feels. I understand that. I get that. Because does she go to crew and promote herself and her hair and all that stuff? I don't think she does. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I get Portia's annoyance with Drew filming with Dennis. I get it. And Drew acting like she doesn't understand what Portia is saying is annoying me, because it's like, girl, you know exactly what you're doing. You don't really have anything to film. You don't have a storyline. You and Ralph, who knows if that's real? Like, we don't know. So I feel like even if Ralph and Drew were to really get a divorce, they would still team up to have some type of storyline so that they all can be on the show and get a check. Like, they got weird stuff going on over there. So and Drew and Portia were friends. This whole time Portia wasn't on the show, her and Drew were friends and they were doing business together. Portia knows how Drew operates. So her being annoyed with Drew, I feel like she has a right to feel how she feels. The rest of the women have a right to not care, for sure. Us, the viewers, have the right to not care. But let's not act like what she's saying doesn't make sense. Drew is being weird. She's being sneaky, and I get why she's annoyed with the lady. To find out that not only were you filming with Dennis in the studio, you went to his establishment and threw a party. Girl, Drew knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. So I get why Portia is annoyed. And Portia claims that a friend called her to tell her that Drew and Dennis have been filming. Tell that lie to somebody else, Portia. Didn't no friend call to tell you nothing. Production told you. Production told you, and you're pissed about it. That's why you had the sour attitude. Because if a friend told you, I just don't believe a friend will call you your birthday weekend and tell you no mess like that. Didn't no friend tell you nothing. Production told you. Angela been poking at you, trying to get a reaction out of you, and y'all haven't captured the reaction that y'all wanted. So production was like, well, we know how to get a reaction out of you. She's finally here on this trip. You guys are all together in this house. We're going to drop the kaboom on you. Kaboom. Dennis and Drew have been filming all this time. That's what happened. Tell me I'm wrong. Y'all know that's what happened. We're not finna play stupid here. We know what happened. Now, does anyone have to care? Nobody has to care. We don't have to care. But that's what it is. When Portia, you step on other people's toes, you don't be caring how they feel. So no one has to care right now how you feel. But you looked really pretty, though. You did. You looked really pretty in that black. And that straight hair, the makeup was perfection. You looked amazing. I know the girls don't like you right now, so they're not going to tell you that you look good. But you did. You did that. You looked really beautiful. You did. It was giving. Face was giving. Now, I really don't want to make it seem as if I don't like Angela, okay? She's cool, and I really want her to stick around. If she's here for the next couple of seasons, I'm going to be here for that, okay? I don't want her to go nowhere. But Angela, I know the people really, really liking her, but she just does some things that I just don't care for. You invited Drew on this trip, allegedly. Because I still think production was like, Drew going on this trip. But whatever. You invited Drew on this trip. And you're trying to apologize. And you're trying to apologize to Portia. Portia doesn't want to hear it. So it's awkward. For you to flip it and say, oh, well, you're trying to hold me accountable for what I did. But what about Kelly? I'm not the only person that said something. Why are you throwing Kelly under the bus? She and Kelly had their conversation. They squashed whatever was starting to become something. It's no longer anything. And they're good. Why throw Kelly under the bus? That was weird. And then for her to be like, did you get your answer? We talking about accountability. Portia needs to be accountable to the world for what she did. It very much gave, I'm a married woman and I don't like women who get with other people's husbands. And that's a lot of people's feelings. A lot of people feel that way. And that's fair if that's how you feel, but come out and say that. Come out and say, Portia, you know what I don't like about you, girl? I've been feeling this way. Like, say what you got to say with your chest. Why is it every time you want to take a shot at Portia, you throw someone else in front of you? Like, you use someone else as a shield. You started with Shamia, then you moved on to Drew. Now it's Kelly. We're seeing in the future, you're going to jump back on Shamia. It's like, I don't really like all of that. Like, if you have a problem as a married woman and you don't want to be in a friend group with a bitch and you don't know what it's giving and you have questions for her, ask her questions. Tell her straight up what it is. Kelly asked her straight up, why did you take that lady's husband? You don't need to throw Kelly under the bus. If you have that question for Portia, ask Portia yourself. The crazy part about this dinner is Portia's not hearing nothing Angela has to say. She's not thinking about you. She's not thinking about nothing you did. She's mad at Dennis. She can't wait to get home so she can give Dennis the business. She's not even thinking about nothing you're talking about. You're just being annoying at this point. And it's just like you trying to set the stage for your moment, girl. And it's just like, I wish it was really a moment. I know the people are going up for Angela because Kenya is no more there. And they feel like somebody's giving Portia the business. But see, the reason I can't get into Miss Angela, Angela's one of those people where she could do you, you can't do her. I don't like people like that on my shows. I don't like those type of people. It's giving Ashley Darby. Ashley Darby was going around poking everybody and thinking everything was funny, delighting in everybody's misery and embarrassment. And then when it became her, she didn't want to talk about it. Now she's hurt. Now she's, she's feeling all these emotions and she shouldn't be feeling this way. That's what Angela is giving me low key. When it comes to the Simon and Portia and Fallon and Jalen and Dennis of it all, it's honestly a joke to me. It's fodder. Like, I can't take any of it serious because, number one, I do think that Simon and Fallon's marriage was a sham. It was a joke. It was a joke. Everyone is so annoyed with Portia for breaking up a marriage. The marriage was broken when the wife got pregnant by the help. The marriage was a joke. When they were still filming, I think they filmed the Halloween episode at Simon and Fallon's house, LaToya was hinting at something being wrong with their marriage back then. And she stayed on Fallon's neck like, your marriage ain't all of that. And she was right. Simon said long time ago that Fallon was pregnant. Nobody believed him. Unless he is a fortune teller, a wizard of some sort, he was right. He knew what he was talking about. What Portia did wasn't okay. I'm not going to sit up here and say it was okay. It wasn't okay. That couldn't be me. I wouldn't be okay with none of it. But because it was Fallon, Simon, Portia, Dennis, and Jalen, y'all want me to be mad at Portia about that? I can't be mad about her about that because the whole thing was just dumb. All of them, I don't take none of them serious. When it comes to that situation, I can't take it serious. Y'all are mad that Portia got with Simon. Fallon was sitting up there pretending to mourn her marriage with a whole nother man's baby in her body. And I'm not judging Fallon, but I can't feel bad for you. That man was never going to stay with you. You was pregnant by that, like, child. How old is that baby? That baby is at least 3.5. I don't know. Come on now. Like, let's be for real. Let's be all the way for real. Portia's entanglement with Simon, it was indeed scandalous, okay? Baby, the worst thing that Bravo ever did was fumble that for season 14. The ratings would have been through the roof. Whatever she wanted, y'all should have gave it to her to bring her on that show. Season 4. a time would have been had, but whatever. Was it scandalous? Yes. Was it trifling? Yes. Was it messy? Yes. If I was in Portia's friend group, I would be side-eyeing her. Like, I really would. If I was one of the, like, like, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would not want someone around me who would do something like, I know a lot of people want to believe that she went into Fallon's house, saw what Fallon had, and wanted the man. I've heard so many variations of what they think happened. I think ultimately Portia already knew this man because he was on the scene. Everybody seems to have known him. There are pictures of him with so many people from Atlanta that we know. Simon was known around Atlanta. He's been in pictures, buying people drinks. He was known. Portia knew him. She knew of him. She knew about him. She knew him. When she brought Fallon on the show, she never said, Fallon is my friend. Hey, you people run with, that was her friend's man. Y'all are funny. She never said Fallon was my friend. She said, my man knows her man. That's how we met. And she's cool. We hung out. She never said that was her friend. Never said that. And even still, it is yucky. Like, girl, it just didn't look right. It didn't look right what Portia did. I'm not disputing any of that. But it's not the same as you and somebody being friends and being cool, and then she's trying to get at your man. You didn't even want your man. We can talk about Fallon and Portia and Simon and Dennis and Jalen all day long because, baby, there's a lot of material there to unpack. But I know that people are going to jab Portia for the rest of her life because she got with Simon. And that's what she signed up for. Because if you're embarrassed by it, you shouldn't have never done it. But let's not act like Portia went and stole somebody's man. She did not creep into that house like Cat Lady and hop up on it, okay? He opened the door and let her in. I'm just saying, if you keep jabbing and poking the bear is going to attack. If you see Portia as, you know, some temptress who goes around and tries to take people's husbands, then, I mean, you should have just told her that's how you felt about her from day one, because it's clear you wanted an issue with Portia the whole season. You should have just said that. You should have just said that. Okay, so to wrap up this video, because this video is super, super long. If Angela feels away because Portia said she need to leave me alone before I F her husband, sorry to that lady. Sorry to that lady, because I don't condone bullying, right? I think that whole pool situation and her sitting up there recording, that lady was jumping out her body. I know she was. She was upset. She was livid. She played producer's pet and she was being messy, and she wasn't ready for what she was going to receive. And sorry to that lady. But I have a hard time feeling bad for you because everyone is saying that, you know, Britt studied the show. To me, Angela studied the show. But you have to know, if you keep jabbing someone, they're going to jab you back. Like, that's just life. Like, it has nothing to do with the show. If you keep poking at someone, they're going to poke back. That's just how that goes. I'm sorry. Was Portia wrong for saying that? Honestly, I don't care if Portia said that. And I'm being 100%. Clearly, Portia is somewhat ashamed and embarrassed every time someone brings up that she took somebody's husband. She doesn't like that narrative being out there about her. She don't like it. And you don't like it, you don't like it. But at the end of the day, Portia, you should have not gotten with that man, but whatever. At the end of the day, she's human. And if someone keeps poking her, she has the right to poke back. Angela has worn her Achilles heel on the surface. Everyone knows that you are very happy that you are married to, what's the man's name? To Charles Oakley. You say his name so much, I should know it. Okay? Everyone knows that you are very pleased with yourself to be married to Charles Oakley. So, if you keep jabbing me and saying I took somebody's husband and I need to be accountable, and you coming at me because on behalf of America, I'm going to say something rude to you. I'm going to say something to sizzle your spirit. I'm going to say something to put you back in your place. I'm going to say something that you're not going to like. So Portia says she need to leave me alone before I get with her husband. I'm pretty sure they were talking about how Angela has been poking her all this time. They're unpacking all of it. The Drew thing, the Shamia thing, the Kelly thing. And I'm sure Portia said it. I believe Portia said it 1000% because Portia has said it before. Portia was on live. Her and Lauren were on live, I believe Instagram, IG live, something like that. And somebody said in the comments, oh, whose man is Portia gonna steal next? And Portia said, yours. This is something that she says. This was not that long ago that I saw it. I'm pretty sure the clip is still floating around somewhere. Portia said that. So I'm not surprised that she said it to Angela. That's what she says. Yeah, I'm gonna get yours next. Keep playing with me. I'm sorry, I can't feel bad. I cannot feel bad for you. I can't. It's like, y'all not gonna like that. I'm sorry, but it was a clapback. Y'all remember when, I think it was a reunion, season 5, and Andy asked Apollo what he thought about Kenya, and he was like, I don't really care much for her. And then Kenya was like, oh, well, then maybe you should stop texting me. It was a clapback. It was a response. If you're going to keep coming at me, and then I find out the real reason you keep coming at me is because you feel like I'm a husband stealer, then I'm going to be like, okay, well, maybe you want to stop coming at me before I come for your husband. Like, I don't know. I'm not about to sit up here and act like I'm so emotional and Portia's the worst person in the world. She might be the worst person in the world. I don't really be liking how Portia acts a lot of times. But, I mean, I don't really care. Now, if your husband likes Portia, then you have a reason to be upset. But, I don't know. I'm just used to the girls clapping back on Atlanta. Okay, I'm not used to the girls playing victim on Atlanta. Clap back, girl. Clap back. What she should have said out the window to Portia is, girl, my man would never. My man ain't perfect by far, but he would never touch nothing that looked like you. He would never get with anything that's been ran through like you. She should have clapped back. Stop crying. Clap back. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta. This isn't Salt Lake. This isn't Beverly Hills. We clap back on this show. Tighten up, Angela. The way I would have clowned that girl. Do y'all remember, those of you that watch Love and Hip Hop, okay, the OG Love and Hip Hop, Samaya Reese had just moved to New York because she was trying to be a rapper. And she wanted a feature from Jim Jones. And so she was reaching out. Chrissy finds out about her, and Chrissy was like, oh, no, So she goes, she sees her, she introduces herself, and then Samaya Reese was like, oh, you mad I'm working with your man? Chrissy said, I could never be mad about nothing like you. She was like, look at your shoes, look at you. She said, girl, you got on a onesie. Like, I could never be mad at nothing like you. That read sizzled my spirit to this day. One of my favorite reads. Girl, I could never be mad at nothing like you. Way to make a person feel insignificant. I could never be mad at nothing like you. If I was Angela, I would have been like, girl, my man would never. My man would never. Your body count is too high for a man like my man, okay? He would never touch you. He ain't perfect, but if he was going to step out on me, he would do something better, okay? My man has standards. If he going to cheat on me, it ain't going to be with a bitch like you. Like, she could have eaten Portia up. But you sitting up there sulking and you mad because the other girls didn't have your back. Oh, they're puppets. Shamia's a puppet. Britt is a puppet. Kelly is a puppet. What was I supposed to do? You're the same person that got mad at Shamia because Shamia was speaking on Portia's behalf. So you want them to speak on your behalf? I thought you don't like those type of things. You don't like that kind of behavior. And that's why I'm saying with Angela, you're all over the place. You say something on Wednesday that doesn't align with what you say on Thursday. Like, girl, I'm going to need you to make some kind of sense. When you stepped outside to Portia, you should even ask her nothing because you know what you heard. You should have said, girl, my husband would never. Now, if your husband would, maybe you couldn't say that. And right about now, how upset you are is given that your husband might. I hope he don't, though. I feel like your husband knows better. I think your husband would know better. But, child, I don't know. I don't know, Angela. The people are giving you all the credit, but you need to have tougher skin. If you're going to be the messy one in the group, if you're going to be the bone collector, if you're going to go around jabbing people's sensitive areas, then you need to make sure that your sensitive areas are protected, okay? Because everyone can see your Achilles heels is Charles. Everyone. I got Oakley hips. I got bad hips. They're Oakley hips. If you want to stand in the shade, you got to get under the oak tree. Like, everything is Charles Oakley, girl. Who wouldn't take a shot at him? You taking a shot at them, they're going to take a shot at him. Like, come on. And while we're here, I saw a clip of the interview that Angela did with Kiki. I probably need to go watch it in its entirety. But when Britt said that Angela likes to play the victim, she's 1000% correct. She does like to play the victim. For those of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, there was a clip of Wendy Williams' show from years ago where Wendy said she was at a party with Angela Oakley and Charles Oakley. Angela comes up to her and says, "Wendy, get back with your husband. It's only a baby." Angela, you were so out of line for that. She goes on this interview and addresses it and says, "Oh my God, I was just trying to, tell her, like, girl, you need to get back with your husband. It's just a baby." Wendy was with her husband for 20-something years. I don't know what the math is, but I'm just going to take an estimate. If Angela and Charles have been married 8 years, because that's what I think I heard them say, right? They've been married 8 years. If you guys have been married 8 years, when you said this to Wendy, you were probably only 2 or 3 years into your marriage. Wendy was married to her husband for over 20 years. They suffered multiple miscarriages. And I think she said she had 2 6-month miscarriages with baby girls. And then her husband cheats on her and has a baby girl. And you want her to just let that go? She got to look at his daughter with another woman for the rest of her marriage. You had a lot of nerve saying that to Wendy. And then she's like, oh, and then Wendy went on her huge platform and told everybody this about me. Angela, you do like to play the victim. You like to be messy. You like to overstep boundaries. And then when people sizzle you, then you're like, oh my God, why am I getting all the heat? Can you fix that? Because I really want to enjoy you like everyone else seems to be enjoying you. But can you fix that? Because that's a flaw. You can't go around poking people's sensitive spots and then think nobody's going to get you back the way that they choose to get you back. I don't know, girl. I don't know, girl. I don't know. All I can say is at this point, Portia, you just need to embrace that you're forever going to look like the cleanup woman. Okay? That's just what they have decided that you are. Shoot, I know I've made jokes about Portia too. I don't know, man. When I tell you the people are upset with Portia, like a big booty Southern girl must have stole your man at some point too. Because, I don't know, child. Portia ain't playing fair. She got a lot of wagon back there. She is not playing fair. If Portia wanted my man, I'd be feeling away too. I'd be a little nervous too. I ain't even gonna lie. Child, I've been talking too long. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it to the end of my video, hey, leave me a comment, y'all. But thanks for watching.